Tintin, traveling the world, fighting pirates, thieves, and crooks and pickpockets. Now, you got a guy with a reverse rat tail haircut, nice and just platinum blonde.
He's a redhead, first off.
Yeah, they even call him a ginger.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, that's blonde. That's a dye job. I saw those little highlights coming through there.
Why isn't this kid in school?
Yeah,
That's all I think
where are
about.
his
Why
parents?
isn't this kid in school with his little fucking pet dog? Which, how is that dog still alive? I mean,
He's not a teenager.
Belgium, man. This is
well,
Belgium.
he looks like a fucking kid.
They don't have school. They just put you in that Matrix shit.
I guess so.
And then you're like, you're good. You go out and you fight crime and you have adventures. You didn't know that? That's
Yeah, in
why.
Belgium, you can start drinking at 11 and you can be a journalist at 15.
Yeah.
You know, so-
Yeah, you learn how to
guys-
use a machine gun at 12.
Tintin is not a superhero. He's a reporter.
Yeah.
And he's an old school reporter who gets his nose right there in the story.
Like Jimmy Olsen?
Well, Jimmy Olsen was kind of a pussy.
Some people would even describe this as, you know, the real young Indiana Jones. You know, this is the more adventurous, kid-hearted, you know, childlike nature of an Indiana Jones movie. And you know, to people that sounds like, well, I ain't nothing but Indiana Jones light. I don't want to hear that shit. But it works very well for this movie. And I would say that for whatever childlike thing that they're talking about in this movie, the Indiana Jones series, as of late, could have used something like this.
It could have used a lot of it. Yeah, I honestly thought that this movie alone was leaps and bounds more interesting and way more adventurous than the last Indiana Jones film.
Well, it's funny how much farther you can go and how much more cool shit you can do that is more convincing to look at when your whole movie is CG instead of just parts of it.
Right.
Yeah.
For a movie that does so much, it does it with such a little plot. It just truly it revolves around Tintin finding a model pirate ship that is somehow very dangerous and has this secret about it that some very dangerous people are after. And this takes him traveling and fighting all kind of villainous people from Britain to all the way to Morocco and wherever the fuck they went. some place with a lot of sand and palm
Wherever
trees,
they
huh?
went, flying southwest.
Yeah.
To where the fuck is stand?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a Raiders of the Lost Ark type adventure where it's just like, okay, we got our evidence here. Now we found we've got to beat the bad guys to this next location.
Yeah.
And it's a chase across the globe as the good guys and the bad guys are both aiming for the same thing, which is what the hell is the point of this? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that the good bad guys seem to know what they're after. The good guys are just like, well, it's something, and that's good enough.
It all leads.
I do like how so much of it was like, hey, we got to stop him from getting this because he wants to get it so bad. But by the end of the movie, I was just kind of like, what was it they were trying to get? I'm not even sure.
You know what? It all leads to something that probably has to do with treasure. There are a lot of references and flashback sequences to great pirate adventures, and one of those is done through a lot of flashback by Captain Haddock, who's voiced by Andy Serkis. And by the way, Tintin is voiced by
Jamie Bell.
Jamie Bell, yeah.
Best
And
known as Billy Elliot.
Billy Elliot, yeah.
Tap dancing Irish boy.
And I was worried about this because Tintin looked a little weird to me, but only in the hair area. But it was all the other characters who they came out with these, and I'm doing about the trailer. They were coming out with these big noses and like crazy round heads, and I'm like, man, this looks like a movie of mutants and deformed people. I don't think this CG technology is working too well.
Have
for
you-
this.
I'm sorry, I got to call bullshit on you.
Yeah, I do too.
Because as a cartoonist, there ain't no way you never read or saw Tintin characters before.
No, that's the thing. Of course, I've seen Tintin. Now, I don't know the history of Tintin. I just know that it's a Belgian comic, and
But you're familiar with Harris's style, so there's no way you looked at this and were like, "What are these mutants?" He's like, "No."
You know, that's because I've seen it in cartoon form. When you make them like come out and try to put it in the real world, it's what we always refer to as the uncanny valley. In this case, is the scary ass fucked up head valley. I mean,
see?
everybody.
I'm the exact opposite here. I thought this was the least I've ever seen the uncanny valley in something. I mean, yeah, they had unique characteristics, but the whole world is CG.
But
If
see,
they were
y'all
trying to insert them versus
Y'all
normal
jumping on
looking
my
people.
case like I'm criticizing. Y'all ain't giving me a chance. I was going to say before I was getting persecuted and nailed to a cross right now.
Now that I realize you disagree with me, I'm going to change this so it sounds like I was on your side the whole time.
Damn, goddamn, Cole. This buddy Cole was like,
I'm just eating my popcorn over here, enjoying the show.
I know. I break up one thing before I can finish my point. It turned into the Passion of the Christ. They got me bent over a rock and they whipping my ass.
Compare yourself to you a Christ figure.
Yes, I am.
Oh, man.
Do you revoke what you said about Tintin? I do not.
Why don't you just be quiet for 3 days and let us handle this?
I died for the uncanny valley sins, But no, what I was going to say is that as much as I feared that in this trailer and looking at clips, when I saw the movie, it didn't matter.
You're absolutely right.
These characters, I don't know if it was the motion capture. I don't know if it was just because the story moved so fast. I don't know if it was just because I was just enjoying the interaction between these characters are that they were actual characters, and they had personalities that I like. But
choose D. It's all of the above.
All of the above.
It's all of the above. No,
let me look on your paper real quick. Write that answer down. But yeah, all the words I had about the CG and being, trying to be too realistic to the point that it was eerie. No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, that's its biggest accomplishment is what it does with the animation, and not just the fact. Like I said, I think even though the characters are, obviously they don't look like people would in real life to the extent that they are very much they look like, what is it, Hervé? Herge.
Are you talking about the
original artist / writer of Tintin? They're designed to look like him, which clearly aren't what people would look like in real life, and yet they are so humanized. And mostly that thing, when you look in people's eyes and those things, you're always like, there's a coldness that's there. There's an emptiness that you can't help but notice. That's that uncanny valley. Somehow in here, for the first time ever, I didn't really feel that.
Yeah, I saw a couple of places, but maybe just a couple. 98.7% of the time, they got it dead on. Because what it is like the eyes won't focus where they need to focus.
Yeah, you got real specific with 98.7%.
I try to be accurate.
Mr. Aminator here, who tried to correct you while you were thinking wrong.
I know.
A minute
This
ago.
little risk calculator, he was doing the math during the movie.
How dare you talk about a fellow cartoonist like that?
But I think.
By the way, Leon, here's your 30 pieces of silver.
I think it's the humor. I think it's really like the humor that ends up like, it's like, I look at it like Beavis and Butthead. Like the first time you look at that without even knowing who those characters are, what they sound like or anything, you're like, wow, that looks like shit. That looks like somebody just scribbled some shit on some paper and they're trying to sell it to me. But then when you get into the humor of it, you don't care anymore. Those characters pop to life, and that's exactly what happened with this movie, where it is one of those. I was like, okay, these are looking creepishly Robert Zemeckis type animated creatures that is going to look like zombies on screen or something. But yeah, as soon as the story kicked in, especially with the humor of it all, where it was humor to where I was like, okay, this isn't playing down to me.
One of the things I enjoyed the most about this, and it wasn't even really the story, because the story is what it is. I mean, it's like, it's almost disposable, really. It's like, okay, whatever, they're doing adventures. You're watching this for the fun of each particular set piece, which every single one of them is like, at points, kind of jaw-dropping.
Amazing.
It's Spielberg, though, doing this, who's never really, as far as I know, he's never even done an animated film. I can't think of one off the
He's
top of my head.
produced a lot, but not
directed. This is the first one he's directed. And it's a kid in a candy shop. It's a guy going, hey, you remember why I used to be called like the master, the best guy in the world at making popular entertainment? Well, you will after you watch Tintin.
Well, because
he knows how to direct action animated scenes like nobody else.
Well, this is the reason why I think this works is because you have the pairing of two great guys who complement each other very well for this kind of project. It's Spielberg who's directing this, as we've mentioned already, but it's Peter Jackson who's producing this. And a lot of those effects that I think we're so impressed with here, that's Weta Workshop that's come in and done all this. They filmed this on the set where I think and seriously, they had James Cameron on the set watching. I think he was like, damn, my blue cats ain't shit compared to this.
You know what my cats are doing tonight.
I take my mocap off to you, sir.
That is what I thought coming out of it. I was like, because when I had to give my statement, I was like, you know what? The 3D in this is way better than Avatar. I mean, it's enough for maybe he might want to go back to Avatar and like, okay, let me re-render some of this.
Avatar, new special director's cut edition. Yeah,
it's funny when you see Avatar 2, Tintin's gonna be in the episode. Yeah. Why does that cat have a blonde or ginger hair with a little fucking tip at the end? No, the other thing is that we have people who, well, at least one person who works very well with mocap. The king of mocap, Andy Serkis, who is Captain Haddock, but you can't just say that he's the one that's, because he knows mocap, that he's bringing something good to this. It's not, because Jamie Bell does very well. The villain in this movie is a professor named Saccharin. I don't know his whole name, Vesuvius Saccharin. I don't know.
Daniel Craig, right?
Yes, Daniel Craig was having a good year.
I could not tell that was his
No,
voice.
not at all.
Like, even knowing it, going in, listening for it, I was like, could not tell that's Daniel Craig.
He's had a good year. We just talked about how good he was in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Now he's
in Dreamhouse.
Shut up.
Or for that matter, Nick Frost and Simon Pegg playing the two bumbling detective guys. I kept forgetting it was them during it.
I was listening to. I was like, I cannot tell that this is those two guys. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I always got an aftertaste of it, but that was about it. So
I think it was
they were great.
Peter Jackson who was doing some of the mocap for one of the characters. It was either
He was second unit director. I saw on the credits. It said Peter Jackson, second unit director.
But I
of the
heard
film,
somebody said that he actually was acting out one of the characters in the
might
movie.
have been.
probably
Hard to
did.
say.
Yeah, which is weird because they usually take it from the person who's doing the dialogue. I don't know. Maybe it was Snowy. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
But isn't mocap the director's dream though? Because if your actor is just not doing what you want him to do, you're like, fuck that, get out of that goddamn outfit.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm putting on the ping pong balls all day.
Move, man. Yeah, you just talk and I'll act it out. All right. Here we go.
Woof, woof. What's so hard about that?
They got him down on all floors, on all fours. Yeah. Woof, woof, man. Woof.